Hello and welcome to Openboosters. I'm going to be talking with my friend about PucaTrade today. She's been asking me questions on it and wondering if she should trade some cards on it because it's supposedly a trading site where she can actually go in there, log in, establish what she has to trade and receive cards in return. So when she actually trades a card, she gets something that is called a Pooka point. So let's say she puts out a Mox Unlimited and it has a certain value on it, and if somebody actually has 116,189 Pooka points, she will receive them back for the trade itself. She'll mail off her Mox and she would have those in her account, Pooka points. Now what she do with those Pooka points? She actually can then go and see if there's anybody else who has cards that can send them to her, or she can establish a want list. And now people will go and look at that want list, click on it, and then send her the cards of her desire. And that's kind of how Pooka works. It seems like it's a trading site, but really they're establishing a price point with their Pooka points. So it's not really a trading site, it's really a selling site. They just have a different form of currency. Now, my opinion on PucaTrade is that I wouldn't use it. And I know, well, okay, so I wouldn't really use it because they're saying that it's a trading site, but it's not. I mean, they actually establish a value for the Pooka points, and you can actually buy the Pooka points for a penny equals 1 Pooka point. So they actually establish a value. And, but they say it's Pooka points are not a virtual currency, but you can buy stuff with it. So that to me is a big red flag. The second big red flag is that they establish a worth on something that they don't value. So if you're establishing a worth on something that they don't value, then you're not getting anything for your card. Now if somebody sends you a card, you're going to get your value back.
Right.
But what if somebody doesn't send you a card? Or if Pooka actually fails? They actually say it in their FAQ. What happens when it fails? It says, basically all you have to do is read the second paragraph. It says, because they're talking about when Pooka disappears. It says, that being said, if it disappears. Yes, it is if. We understand things happen and that our members deserve the right to know what happens in the endgame scenario. In the event of PucaTrade shutting down, it has been proposed that Pooka buy back all the Pooka points that its members own at a reduced rate. While we would love to be able to promise to do this, the reality is that most of the Pooka points in circulation are given freely to new members just for signing up. For this reason, purchasing them back is not financial reality. And that's true, because when you actually trade if you actually trade your Mox, and they shut down, you're just going to have Pooka points and they're going to disappear.
Yeah, but if I get free Pooka points though, then isn't somebody getting my card from a discount?
Yes, technically. They would be getting a discount, but yes, actually yes. So they're getting free points and then they can put that towards your card.
Right.
But
that's weird.
Yes, but they don't really consider it a real currency. They don't value it. They're not going to back it up with money. And so let's say, and you'll have let's say you send your Mox out and they do shut down, they're not going to get then you shut down, you're just out of a card. You can't take them to court, you can't sue them, it's just gone. Poof.
Ew.
Yeah. So that's one of the big red flags. It's easier to actually sell your card on eBay. I know eBay kind of sucks with all the fraud, but it's true. It does have buyer protection out there because you can actually sell a card, and somebody buys it and it's illegal, then they can get their money back. But if you're selling your card, there is seller protection as well. It's just managed differently.
So does it have any protection?
They say they do, but the protection kind of scares me a little. I mean, they will resolve issues, but here's where it like scares me a little, because they don't value it as real currency. It's not real money. Therefore, if there's actually a glitch in the matrix, like someone is actually scamming you and sends you a fake card in the mail, and they say, oh, I got a fake card. Well, they're going to issue you back your points, but you mail your card back to the person, and they're going to say, hey, they sent me a fake card and I sent them a real one. Well, then Pooka could literally give both parties points, thus devaluating the points, and plus the scammer will have points. It's a possibility. Whereas eBay, they have they're only going to give one person money because it's money. It's going to deflate their bottom line. But this company, PucaTrade, actually has no risk. That's what's really kind of scaring me with that part, because they could give the scammers points for free, and they'll get real cards and be able to sell them.
Oh, I see. Yeah, that's not good.
So that's kind of bad in my opinion. And it really kind of bugs me on this that they don't value their stuff. They have Pooka points are not virtual currency right there in black and white, but they're going to establish worth, but they're not going to back it up. And that whole cycle there just kind of tells me that you shouldn't trade on the site. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I guess so. But how do you? Well, what about like grading and stuff? Like, if I say I want a really good card, and they say it's really good, but then they send it to me and it's not. Well, I would be paying the same price. Like that. Like
that. See, that's a matter of opinion. So let's say you're the end user and you're getting the near mint card. What they're pretty much going to say is mail the card back. And if you're with someone who's honest, they're going to take the card and the trade will be canceled. But if you're dealing with someone dishonest at the other end, then they might say you didn't send back the same card.
So where is this? There's no place to trade cards, really?
And not really, not safely. But I mean, there's really not. I've never really seen a site. See, what Pooka Trade really needs to do, and this is what it really needs to do, is have cards sent to them and evaluate the cards themselves to their standards. That way they can see, say, whether it's illegal, say whether it's mint, and say the actual condition of the cards, then ship it to their customers. Then it would be pretty much a completely safe site, because they're going to receive the cards, they're going to evaluate it, and if it doesn't hold up to their standards, then they can mail it back to whoever it was.
Okay.
But they don't do it. It's still person to person, and that's bad.
Okay.
So, and this is relatively a new site. I don't know how many times it's happened, but as it becomes more and more popular, it's going to get more and more scammers. And the fact that they have Pooka points and not money means that they don't have to really evaluate situations. From a business perspective, they can just give the points away. It doesn't matter, because as they say, the points are worth nothing, and what really is confusing is that their points are establishing worth.
Okay.
So they try to establish worth with something that evaluates to nothing. And that's why I don't like it. So that's really the bottom line right there.
Okay.
Any questions? No? Okay. So I'm hoping this was informative to everyone about my opinion on it. And this strictly is my opinion. I'm using their website for facts, but this is just my opinion. And I'm hoping that works. I mean, eBay it has a lot of scammers on there, but they do have money protection. To me, it's a lot easier to sell for real money and then buy the cards you want. And that makes more sense to me than saying, and I know they like to say it's a trading site, but if you establish a value on something, you're selling it. And I don't care if you do it in beads or glass. These are just Pooka points, and that's a value. That is a selling site. It is not a trading site at all, in my opinion. So that is the bottom line. I just think it's terrible. But if they actually start evaluating the cards themselves, then that might put some value into actual Pooka Trade. Until they do that, then there's really no point to use it, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And that's it. Any other questions?
No.
Thoughts, comments?
No.
All right. I'm hoping this was valuable to everybody, or at least it'll give them a little knowledge. If you're using Pooka Trade, I would just use it for very low value cards. and just have fun. All right. So this is Open Boosters, and have a nice day.